Very good evening to you today. Welcome back to Lance Talks episode 24, and today I am finishing up my day and I want to go ahead and talk to you about this little conversation I had with a client today, a very interesting one. It wasn't too much of a back and forth, they were more just statements. A fellow had come in and he came in heavily bearded and heavily haired, and I asked him what he wanted to do and he told me what he wanted to do, so I did it for him. And while I was doing that for him, he wanted to recount his experience to me of the last 4 or 5 months he mentioned he had spent traveling abroad, particularly in Southeast Asia, with a family member on a scooter. They had gotten scooters and scootered the way across, what did he say he went? Vietnam, Thailand, I think, Cambodia, Laos, Malaysia, Indonesia, that whole region in Southeast Asia. And it kind of made me feel like, man, I really miss traveling, because before doing what I'm doing now, I was quite the traveler myself, although I've never really explored territories vastly different from my own, like Asia or the Middle East or Africa. But that's all in the making, and those days will come. But for the time being, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. Anyways, this gentleman had told me that him and his family member had traveled across Southeast Asia on a scooter, and he said that at every stop he would make, and if they were ever lost, he would be invited into people's homes, and all that they wanted to do was feed him and give them beer and try to understand their language, although they didn't speak any English at all, but just to be attent and alert with open ears, and essentially looking at the big foreign white man and going, whoa, he's so interesting, let's just laugh, and ha ha ha, he's so interesting, we have this white man in our house, and what's he saying, what's he doing, I don't know. They're just intrigued by him. And when you're a traveler in a territory not your own, and you obviously stand out as something different, people do tend to look at you as if you are like some sort of deity. And if you haven't traveled to somewhere where you have been the only one of your own kind, then I don't think you can understand what that feeling is like. When you, for example, if I step into a territory that is majority of a different race, usually I am in a territory where I'm a minority. Like, I put myself in those situations over and over and over again, but that's fine. I learn a lot from being a minority, a lot, because I obviously stand out where I'm living now. So he had told me that from house to house that he went to, that he would be lost, that they would be lost, they would be invited into homes and to be fed and laughed with and connected with these strangers that he never ever felt any sort of connection that he had here in Canada. And he made the statement that all they wanted to do was feed me. And I said, that is a very my response was, that is a very typically Asian thing to do. Asians just want to feed you. And then he expounded on my thought, and he said, from my experience, Asians are the types of people that want to just give and give and give and give, and they don't want anything in return. And it's so true. Asians give a lot. Asians who have retained their Asian roots and remember what it is to be an Asian person, they know that giving to others is it's like in their nature. They are givers. They have big hearts. Although from the outside, my very good friend Felix Delgado from Cuba had told me that he's a Cuban guy, and once he had made a trip to Japan as a singer, and he was on live national television, and the Japanese people, the interviewer had asked him, what do you think of Japanese people, you being a Cuban here in a foreign land? And his response was, I remember him telling me, Asians or Japanese people are like eggs. They look so tough on the outside, so tough and hard, But when you crack them, they come oozing out because they're soft on the inside. So that, you know, that like bitchy Asian face you get, and they like look at you sometimes like, what the fuck do you want? They're actually, it's like a defense mechanism because they're soft on the inside, but they'll have like, because like Asians will have like really sharp features too, like cheekbones and like jaw lines and like angled eyebrows and stuff. It's like, whoa, why do they look so angry? It's like, they don't. It's like that was a defense mechanism given to them by nature and by the creator himself. But they're actually very soft, and once you get on their good side, they will give you their whole heart. But you have to be close to them, otherwise they don't do that. Generally, that's my experience with Asians, being an Asian myself. Yes, so traveling into a space where you are obviously the only one of your own kind will permit you to create new reference points for what things mean from a baseline, from a new baseline. Because from what the fellow told me, he had never experienced such hospitality and real hospitality and genuine hospitality and kindness and real kindness. Because he had also mentioned, I remember we had talked about, you know, because they always say, oh, well, Canadians are always so nice and friendly. Canadians are always so polite and nice and friendly. But if you don't know what genuine, heartfelt, straight from the heart kindness is, like if you've never experienced that from strangers who are welcoming you with open arms, the Canadian friendliness or niceness, it can be from a distance. So it's not a warmth. It's very like you to your spot, me to my spot, Bill, and you over there, George, and you in your garden, and I'll be in my garden, and if you need help, I'll be over there on my side of the fence, and just call out to me and I'll come and help you, eh? And that's my really bad exaggerated Canadian accent. Okay, so yeah, I lost my train of thought, being an idiot once again. Asians, something about Asians. Anyways, it's probably not important. So I want to leave you with that today. Try stepping into a territory that isn't your own. You may be given a gift and new reference points, and come closer to the truer meaning of things for what they mean for yourself once you have a whole new repertoire of reference points and experiences. Lance Talks, episode 24. Everybody have an amazing night. Peace.